Hey there, it's Olivia Savannah here from Olivia's Catastrophe, and today I'm here to give you a huge book haul. So I'm just going to crack on and get started. This is spanning through my birthday month, so a lot of these have something to do with my birthday. A lot of these are review copies, and actually we're going to start with a genre section. I usually have such an accumulation of different books, but I've been in my fantasy reading mood, and that has meant that lots of fantasy books have come my way. So let's get down to the books and we'll start with fantasy. So first of all, I had my best friend over around my birthday and her birthday time, and it was really lovely. And for this I read one of her favourite series, which I have a vlog of, and also I got her a book for her birthday among other things, and the book that I got her was actually this book, Heartsong by TJ Klune. So you might be wondering, how do I end up having it? And that's because as it was her last day with us, she was like, I'm gonna get you a thank you for having us gift, and I was like, don't be ridiculous, you're my best friend, do not do that. I distinctly told her not to do it. I forgot to also tell her boyfriend, who is one of my close friends, not to do it too, because then he egged her on later on, and they got me a book, and they got me Heartsong by TJ Klune, because at this point they both knew that I'd read the whole series and was looking forward to reading it as well. This is the third book in the Green Creek series, and it's a series about a found family pack of werewolves and the trauma that they go through and the healing that they go through together. I have read the first two books in the series. I've rated them both 5 stars. I love them. It's late at night reading because you don't want to stop reading them vibes, and I adore them. I know who this book is about. I know the couple that will be featured in it, and I know that this is a lot of people's favourite book in the series, which is going to be really difficult to do because the second one so far is my favourite, but it's really close with all of them, and I know I'm going to love it, and I feel like I'm going to give it 5 stars already. Continuing on with the fantasy, I have pulled this one in, but I was also very kindly sent a finished copy of To Cage a God by Elizabeth May. Now this is Elizabeth May's latest fantasy book. She's a well-known and well-established author, and I've read one of her co-written books and really loved it. And in this one we're following 2 sisters who have been raised to kind of bring down the empire and fight back, and now has come the time where they have to do it. One of them has to work with their estranged lover and kind of infiltrate his circles, and the other one is, how is she doing it? I think she's kind of facing things more on a head-on, direct revolutionary kind of way. And yeah, it's about these really powerful sisters. For my birthday, Abby from Abby of Pelennor was really lovely and sent me 2 books, one of which is Godkiller by Hannah Kent. This one is about this girl whose family was killed by a god, so she decides to become a god killer, and she goes around killing loads of different gods until she comes across a god that she can't kill, and she has to kind of enter into a realm where there are multiple god killers to be able to defeat this god that she wants to kill. That's as far as I've understood. Now I have seen this one everywhere, people seem to really be enjoying it, and I mistakenly thought it was a 500-page fantasy book, and I was like, no, for what it is about, I don't need 500 pages, until my Patreon Hannah corrected me and said it was only 300 pages. So I then had a lot more interest in it, especially as Hannah really enjoyed it as well. So I'm going to give this one a go. It sounds like it's going to be fun, and now that I know it's not 500 pages, I'm much more so looking forward to it. Thank you, Abby. I have a friend called Lakeisha, and I've known Lakeisha for years in the blogging world, and I think she's most active on Twitter now and a little bit on Instagram sometimes, so I'll leave Elle Book Nerd down below, which is her Instagram, and she spoils me every birthday. She got me 3 books, and one of them is from an author that we both really enjoy, and that's The Adventures of Amina El-Sirafi by S.A. Chakraborty. I don't really know much about this book, I just know it's by this author, and that's enough for me to want to read it. I know it kind of involves pirates, I know it kind of involves an adventure, and I know that the map in this one is a full colour map. It's gorgeous and shiny, and S.A. Chakraborty has written one of my favourite fantasy series, which is the City of Brass series, the Day of the Bad trilogy I should say. I was also sent a review copy of The Poisons We Drink by Bethany Baptiste, which has a gorgeous black girl magic cover right there with all the colours on it. Amazing. This one sounds like it's going to pack a punch. It's in a world where witches and humans, like humans and witches, exist, and the world is kind of divided between them, and she is someone who does something illegal to be able to support her family, and that is she brews love potions. And when her mother is kind of killed with a stray bullet, her life explodes, and she may have to serve potions to some of the most dangerous politicians to like gain status and be able to do what she needs to do to protect her family. It just sounds like it's going to be really, really interesting. I'm looking forward to the world building, of course, and the love potion shenanigans that I'm sure are going to come up in this. I also went secondhand book shopping around my birthday period. I donated a bunch of books, and it's really difficult when you're in the secondhand shop donating books to not look at the bookshelves. And I did. And so I picked up a couple books during that you'll see during this haul, and one of them that I picked up was Iron Gold by Pierce Brown. It was a fantastic paperback edition, and I thought, why not pick it up? I've read Red Rising and I really enjoyed it. I've got the 2 next one in the series, and so I thought I'll just bag the 4th one, which is kind of the series extended into 6. Don't know anything about it because, as I said, I've only read the first one, but I thought if it's there for about £1, I might as well pick it up. Thank you to the publisher for sending me An Education in Malice by S.T. Gibson. This is the author of A Diary in Blood, and this one sounds like it's going to be vampiric dark academia. It's not confirmed in the synopsis if there's vampires, but I'm just assuming it because there's a character called Carmilla, okay? And in this one we're following our main character, and she has a rivalry with Carmilla in her year, and she seems obsessed with trying to beat Carmilla at her studies. But there is also a professor who seems to be showing a really peculiar interest in Carmilla as well, and I think there's something like underground going on in the school, and it just promises a bloodthirsty dark academia narrative that seems delicious and absolutely delightful to a reader like me. And then the lovely Lianne from Literary Diversions was unhauling books, and I picked up 3 from her unhaul. I got them for myself, and those are these 3. So the first one is Stone Blind by Natalie Haynes, which admittedly I have a copy of, but I did not have this beautiful Waterstones editions with the sprayed edges and the dark black on the top. And this is the Medusa retelling story. I love Medusa. That's one of my favorite Greek mythology stories that there are. And I read Divine Might by Natalie Haynes and I loved it last year, and so I'm just convinced that I'm going to really enjoy her fiction just as much as her non-fiction, and I think Stone Blind is where I'm going to go next, so I really just snatched that special edition. And while I was at it, I picked up 2 other Greek mythology books. They are both by Jennifer Saint, and I haven't read anything by Jennifer Saint, but I picked up the hardback copies of Elektra and Atlanta because Natalie Haynes has just made me fall back into my Greek mythology high, and I have Ariadne in hardback as well, and I thought I would just grab these matching editions while I could. So thank you so much, Lianne, for sending them my way and letting me take them from you. Another book that Lakeisha got me was Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer. This is a non-fiction book by an Indigenous person about the Indigenous wisdom, scientific knowledge and the teaching of plants. Now, I have never been a nature reader. I have tried being a nature reader. I guess that's also a genre that I don't read that much of, and while I love being in nature and plants fascinate me, I just have never been able to connect with the non-fiction books about it. However, this is an Indigenous voice on a really important topic, and I've heard very, very good things about this, and so I am going to commit and put my mind to it and read it. And I think I'll probably like it because I haven't seen anyone say a negative thing about this book in any which way. And thank you so much, Lakeisha, for getting it for me for my birthday. It's quite funny actually that I've got a copy of Love in Colour and also Honey and Spice by Bolu Babalola. These are her 2 books. So Honey and Spice is her romance book, and it's a black romance. I don't know that much more about it. I've just really been in the mood for reading black romance where it's just black characters finding love with each other. I know it's got close proximity trope to it, and this is also from Lakeisha, so thank you, Lakeisha, for sending it my way. I know she's read it and really enjoyed it, and also my sister April really recommended this to me as a romance book that I would like. And then Love in Colour came into my life in 2 different ways. The first is that I got a copy from Emily from Novelle Novels, who was unhauling the book, but then also for my birthday, my good friend Faye got me a blind date with a book, and it was this one as well. So now I've got a brand new copy, so I passed on my other one to somebody else, to one of my sisters, but I'm also looking forward to reading this equally as much. It's a short story collection of like black romance stories. I think some of them are inspired by mythology, and I've heard just really good things about both. April has actually read both of these and she was like, they are good. You will have a good time. Thank you, Daniela, for this birthday present, and this is another romance. It's Delilah Green Doesn't Care by Ashley Herring Blake. It is an FF romance, and it's set in a small town, and there's the city girl who returns to the small town, and she's just there to do some wedding photography, but she keeps running into someone from her school that they usually don't get along, I believe, but because of close proximity and different things, they kind of end up having a romance story. That's as much as I understand so far. I actually put this on my wish list because I'd seen Daniela talk so positively about it, and then she ended up getting it for me for my birthday, so that kind of just felt full circle, and I really hope I'll enjoy it just as much as she did. From Hannah at Ladette, who is a trooper because she and Lizzie came all the way from Oxford down to London to attend my birthday party, which, thank you so much. I really love them. They're great, and Hannah has a wonderful channel if you don't know. But Hannah got me for my birthday Poster Girl by Veronica Roth. Now, I was a big fan of Divergent and that whole series when I was younger. I still stan it. I still will justify that the last book made the right choices. I stand by it. And so I haven't read any Veronica Roth since then because nothing quite piqued my interest. But two of my Patreons, Hannah and Liene, have both been reading this during reading sprints in one way or the other, and they both said it was good. And so I was like, I just need to read it. So I'm looking forward to trying Poster Girl. It says on the back, a fallen regime, a missing child, and a child's freedom, so it does seem like it's dystopian still, and I'm curious to see if I'm going to love Veronica Roth just as much as an adult reader. Sourcebooks, they just know, right? They just know. I didn't even ask, but they know that I'm a big fan of Alexis Hall, so they sent me Waiting for the Flood by Alexis Hall, which is recently published. This is his indie published book that is being republished traditionally, and this is from one of my favorite romance series ever, the Spire series. The second one in the series, it follows after Glitterland, and you're following this man who has gone through a breakup after 10 years, and he is kind of wallowing in his feelings. He's feeling sad, which is acceptable, but it has been quite a while since the breakup, and his little town gets a flood warning, so they send in the flood people who help people protect their homes from floods. Can you tell I've never lived somewhere where flood warnings are a thing? And so he gets helped by this ginger man in cowboy boots who kind of rocks up his world and changes everything and makes him see the light once again. And it is so sweet. I've already read it. I've already read this short story, or novella I should say, because it's still quite long, and I really, really enjoy it, and I think it just is a really lovely relationship. I do mention that a lot of Alexis Hall books that I like tend to be on the steamy side, but this one has no steamy scenes whatsoever. And in this republished version, it also includes an extra novel, which is from Marius's point of view, and Marius is the person who breaks up with the main character from Waiting for the Flood, and you get to see his romance and his story and how he is moving on after the 10-year relationship. So it's actually two stories in one, and Chasing the Light, which is Marius's story, has never been published before, so if you do want to read that as well, this is the only book you can get it in, and I'm looking forward to reading that because I will probably find it delightful because it's in the Spire series. It's Alexis Hall, and he writes really good romances. This was from Bekka, the book Sanctum, for my birthday. Thank you, Bekka. You should definitely check out her channel as well. She reads a lot of sci-fi, fantasy and comics, and she got me Two Can Keep a Secret by Karen M. McManus. I did not expect for the One of Us is Lying trilogy to tick all of my boxes and really kind of take over my life a little bit at the end there last year, and I really enjoyed reading it, and it kind of solidified for me that I just want to read Karen M. McManus's young adult mysteries. I've read 4 of them now, and I've really enjoyed all of them to some extent. They don't rock my world, they don't blow my mind, but they're a lot of fun, and she does good character work, and she builds a fun mystery, and I just have a good time, and I'm here for good times while reading. So Two Can Keep a Secret I know nothing about. I just know it's one of Karen McManus's standalone young adult mystery books, and I'll tell you more about it when I read it, but I think I'm going to have a lot of fun with this, just like with her other one. My sister April is also a reader, and we both really enjoy Afrofuturism, and so for my birthday she got me an Afrofuturism book. And the book that she went for is Akata Witch by Nnedi Okorafor. Nnedi Okorafor wrote my favourite book that I read in 2023, my favourite book of them all that was fiction. But in this one we're following our main character who's albino, and she is really struggling with that because she feels like she doesn't fit in anywhere. When she discovers that actually she has latent magical powers and there is this whole magical world that she didn't know about, she's got a lot of catching up to do to her peers. And that's all I really know about it. I will trust Nnedi Okorafor to write a good story. I've read many of her books now and none of them have failed me, so looking forward to reading another one. I'm probably gonna buddy read this with my sister or read it with my Patreon book club and invite my sister along to discuss. So either which way, I will be discussing this one in avid detail with my patrons or with my sister. The other book that Abby from Abbey of Pelennor got me for my birthday was The Island of Dr. Moreau by H.G. Wells. I've read The Invisible Man by H.G. Wells. He writes like classic sci-fi or classic monstery books, and I really enjoyed it and I want to read more of them. I'm actually currently buddy reading this with Abby at the moment, so it will be read by the time that this all goes up, but it was actually quite lovely because this was again one that I got Abby for her birthday back in October, so it was kind of like wholesome that we both gave each other copies and now we get to read it together. And then Charlotte was also unhauling The Pickwick Papers by Charles Dickens, a big brick of a book, and I usually just get my classics as cheap as I possibly can, read it and then buy a special edition. Like for example, I collect the Penguin Classics, so I just thought I'd pick it up and give it a go. I've read Dickens before, I enjoy Dickens, he writes long books sometimes, but you know, books like Bleak House, I have enjoyed them despite their length, and I'll give Pickwick Papers a go as well. We're back to birthday gifts. This was from Bekka again, from the Book Sanctum. I'll just say the name again. This one is My Roommate is a Vampire by Jenna Levine. This is about a girl who has a roommate, and the roommate seems to be doing very suspicious things that are behaviour that seems appropriate for a vampire. And I've just heard that this is supposed to be like rom-commy where it's actually got the humour, and I think sometimes people throw around the term rom-commy when they just mean romance. They don't mean romantic comedy, they just mean romance. And so I'm interested in reading rom-coms which are supposed to be funny as well, and it's also vampires, which I love vampires, so I was definitely going to read this book. I'm very excited to read it. Thanks, Bekka. This was a birthday present from the lovely Charlotte at Books and Bargains. Charlotte is reading her way through her TBR this year, and she does a lot of thrift shopping and has a really fun channel. And she got me Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. This is a black romance book. I believe it's a second chance romance where the couple have divorced. So she's trying to go about her life as a new divorcee who is co-parenting and living her life, but she keeps on falling back into rhythm with her ex, and it's about whether they're going to take that chance or whether they're kind of having moments together again means that they're actually just bringing back old arguments and dragging up the past that needs to be laid to rest. So it's that kind of second chance romance. It's a black couple. Again, I've talked about how I feel about black romances at the moment and how I just want to devour more of them. And I also saw this recommended over on Mina Reads Instagram, and after she recommended it I was like, yes, I want to read it, because I do think lots of Mina Reads romance recommendations are good for me. Thank you to the publisher for sending me 2 books, both by the same author. These are Marissa Meyer's contemporary books, one of them being Instant Karma and the other being With a Little Luck. Now this one has got some magical elements to it, Instant Karma, where this girl has the power of karma and she can cast karma on anybody who deserves it, but frustratingly there is an annoying boy in her class who seems to evade her gift and she can't give karma to him. And then we've also got With a Little Luck, and it's about this boy and everything seems to be going lucky for him and working out for him. He's getting the career that he wants, he's getting the studies that he wants, he's getting the girl that he wants, the girl he's been dreaming of for ages, but in the process of that he keeps thinking about his best friend and he's worried that maybe he's been dreaming of the wrong girl all along. I really enjoy Marissa Meyer's like sci-fi and fantasy books that I've read so far. I think I've read 4 of them, five now. I've read 5 of her books, and so I'm looking forward to reading her romantic contemporary books. I was like, how did I have all of these books from Abby? Because this is another book from Abby, but me and Abby actually exchanged Christmas gifts a bit later in January, and that had to do with the fact that I was kind of spreading out my Christmas buying, and so I wasn't spending too much money at once, and thanks to any friends who are understanding about that. So actually some of these 2 of these from Abby are Christmas gifts as well, because she is just that generous. And this is The Firekeeper's Daughter by Angeline Bully, and this is an Indigenous author who has written a young adult mystery book, and I saw Abby read this and absolutely love it. I didn't expect it to be this chunky, but I should have known because Abby is not afraid of chunky books. But again, I'm just trying to read a couple more Indigenous authors and keep my reading diverse in that way. And although I don't track statistics, one of the ways you can keep on top of it if you don't track statistics for your reading is just to haul those books in and make a conscious effort to buy them or pick them up when people recommend them. So I heard good things about this one and I did want to give it a try as well. We're back to things I picked up in the second secondhand bookshop, I saw a copy of Trespasses by Louise Kennedy, so I decided to get it. This is an Irish author. I've heard good things about this from all of my like literary friend booktube readers like Charlie Brooke Reads and Scott from Gunpowder Fiction and Plot, and it's mostly described as ordinary people trying to live their lives in extraordinary times. That's the really short bit. I don't know too much about what it's about again. I'm just trying to make sure I'm reading Irish authors every now and again, and people recommended it. I'm sure I knew what it was about once, but it's evading my mind right now and I'm talking about a lot of books. And then this is the other Christmas gift from Abby, and that is Natives by Akata. And this one explores race and class in the ruins of empire. So like classism, racism and imperialism in the UK. So from the British perspective, I've talked extensively about how I find it really important to read books on like race that are UK focused, as I am from the UK. And a lot of the ones that I see around are US based ones. So when I saw this one and also saw Abby recommend it, and lots of people recommend it, I thought I would pick it up. From the publisher, we have Kindling by Tracy Chee. This one came out in March this year, and this one is about these teenagers who are grown to be weapons because they have powers and they serve in wars, but now all of the wars are done and these teenagers are just trying to survive and process their trauma when a village is threatened by violence, and these 7 teenagers who are kidlings come together and kind of defy a lot of the trauma that they're experiencing and find healing within each other as they fight one last battle for the greater good. It sounds like it's going to be a lot about healing and a lot about processing emotions, but also about like finding friendships and finding relationships that help you heal as well, and it just sounds really good. I've heard really good things about Tracy Chee's other books, and so I'm looking forward to it. And I also picked up Wide Sargasso Sea from Charlotte's Unhaul. This is just one I've seen around a lot, but I don't actually know anything about. But it was a free classic, so I thought, you know what, I'll just dive in and give it a go. It's not that long, and if I like it, then I can look into this author more, and if I don't, then I can just easily unhaul it without feeling too bad about it. Thank you to Chelsea from Chelsea Jew for this unhaul. Chelsea reads a lot of romance, but also a lot of sci-fi, and then a lot of graphic novels too. And on her channel, I saw her talk about The Princess and the Grilled Cheese Sandwich, and that's what made me want to add it to my wish list alongside Kristin from Kristin Craves Books review of this one. So again, it feels quite full circle that she ended up getting this one for me for my birthday. Thank you, Chelsea. And this one just sounds like a super cute graphic novel about this girl who doesn't want to marry any man in particular, and when her father passes away, she's not allowed to inherit the riches from him because she's a woman, so she decides to disguise herself as a man and start her life again as a count elsewhere, and she just wants to keep a low profile and be able to live her life with her money and be happy, when the Princess Brie is just super cute and always there. So it sounds like an FF really cute story graphic novel. I want to talk about this one that I picked up in the charity shop, which is called The Last Act of Love by Kathy Renson-Brink. I read Dearest Reader by Kathy Renson-Brink a couple years ago now, and I really enjoyed it, and it surprised me by how much I enjoyed it. And she also mentions in Dearest Reader the story that she has of the passing of her brother and why that happened and how that made her feel. It's kind of just briefly touched on in Dearest Reader, but in this book it's all about that. It's all about that story. I've already started reading this one and it is going to pack an emotional punch, and so it's largely about grief and letting things go and processing that. Thank you to the publisher for sending me a copy of The Briar Book of the Dead by A.G. Slatter. So this one is set in a world where witches exist, and our main character has someone above them like pass away, so she kind of steps into the role of being the Briar Witch and everything that demands of her. But she also develops this unexpected ability to be able to see and talk to the dead, and in doing so she discovers a lot of family secrets, and that's where this book goes. I do like books that have ghosts in them. I guess I read a lot of books with witches in them. I thought I didn't like witchy books, but I was clearly wrong, and it just sounds like it's going to be dark, good, horror-y, spooky read. We've got 2 poetry collections. I've been stocking up on poetry because I've been missing poetry. I love poetry. If I haul in a poetry collection, I read them quite fast because I just love them so much. And I had a book gift card that I was saving for a rainy day, and when I was in the shop I saw The Perseverance by Raymond Antrobus, and I decided to get it. Raymond Antrobus is just a poet that I really like. I've heard him speak and perform his poems multiple times now, and I read All the Names Given and really loved it, and so this is That was his latest poetry collection, but this is his like debut poetry collection. I'm looking forward to reading it. And then we have this poetry collection, which I'm really excited about. It publishes in 2024, and that is Girls That Never Die by Sophia El-Hilo. I heard about this one from Reads and Reverie's Instagram account, so I'll leave a link to that down below. She does such a good job of reading black authors, underrated books and poetry that I don't hear about anywhere else. And this one is by a Sudanese poet, and if you understand or know about what's been going on in Sudan lately, you'll understand why I had interest in like reading from Sudanese poets and supporting Sudanese authors and kind of injecting more Sudanese writing into my reading. And this one is a poetry collection, and the themes sound quite hard-hitting, so I'm just gonna read a bit from the back because I think that best describes it. Drawing from her own life and family histories, as well as cultural myths and news stories about honor killings and genital mutilation. She interlaces the everyday traumas of growing up a girl under the patriarchy with magical realist imaginings of rebellion, autonomy and power. Oh my goodness, I think this poetry collection is going to pack a punch. We've got a birthday present here from Mary Among Reads, who may be one of the sweetest people on BookTube. She's just lovely. She reads a lot of classics and literary fiction and fantasy books, and you should check out her channel as well. And she got me this lovely penguin cloth bound little classic called The Prophet by Khalil Gibran, and this one, it just sounds like it's got some of the Alchemist vibes to it. And it shares like everyday wisdom and imparts like guides for life, and it sounds really sweet and genuine, but hopefully will also be a little bit inspiring and just like a little bit heartwarming too. I have mentioned in this haul I collect penguin classics, that both the cloth bounds and paperbacks, so this is also another one I can add to my collection. I was sent a review copy of Mongrel by Hanako Footman, a story that entwines between 3 separate narratives. One of the characters is mourning, one of the characters is living in Japan but kind of wants to escape, and the other character attempts to navigate Tokyo's nightlife, and it's about how they talk about loneliness and isolation and grief and cultural identity while their narratives intertwine with each other. And basically it's just ticking a lot of my boxes. I've been enjoying translated literary fiction lately, and I'd like to read books about grief and I like to read books about identity. Those are the 2 key themes that I delve into in my reading. Thank you to the publisher for sending me a review copy of The Love Interest by Helen Comerford. Now this one sounds like a whole load of fun. So it's set in a world where superheroes exist, and the town that she's from is really excited because they are going to be getting a brand new superhero. And when she kind of stumbles and falls and is caught by the superhero and is the first person that the superhero saves, she's immediately then cast as the love interest for him because she's the first one he saved, and they kind of stumbled into each other. But she really wants to fight against that. She does not want to be the love interest. She does not want the attention that being the love interest in her town will bring her. But when she discovers that her things in her family are kind of embroiled in the agency that has to do with the whole superhero business, she has a choice to make. She can either play the part of the love interest, get close to the superhero, and through him infiltrate the agency and learn more about what's happening to her mother, or just let go the history with her mother and just live her own life. And we all know what she's going to choose. So it sounds like it's going to be a fun kind of take on the superhero craze that everybody seems to be kind of coming out of now, but it sounds like it's going to be a fun play on that, and it's really creative. I love a creative story that's doing something new. And then last but not least, we've got our last book for this haul. Wow, what a haul it's been. And this is a fiction book. It's a fantasy book as well. Would you have guessed that? And that is The Last Fee Hunter by Celine Goldenberg. Now this just sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. It's a Thai folklore book inspired by dark fantasy. A hunter and his powerful lone wolf, and they are on the journey to kill a legendary demon which will bring them lots of power and acclaim. But the path towards this demon is not an easy one. They have to go through like ghost infested woods, and it does not help that there is an assassin on their trail as well. And I'm looking forward to trying it and just seeing what it can give me. I've been on such a fantasy kick, and if it sounds good and if it sounds unique, I'm interested in giving it a go. So there you have it. Those are all of the books that I've recently hauled in. Thank you so much to everyone who sent anything my way, whether that be a publisher or a person for my birthday. I hope that you're all doing really, really well, and please let me know in the comment section down below what was the last book you bought, received, borrowed or acquired. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, hit that subscribe button if you want to see more, and don't forget to hit that notification bell to be updated every time I have a new video. And you know what they say, onwards and upwards. Excelsior!